Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 11-11-22 channeling and meditation. For those of you who have been with me for a while now, or you have been following my YouTube channel for a while now, you already know that my cosmic overlord who channels through me is someone I call JadeFire, who is the Lord Sananda. And you also know that he channels through me in different ways. But if you are new to my channelings, if you are new to these kind of meetings, if you're new to me, then let me briefly explain to you. There are three ways in which JadeFire channels through me. One is the way that is popularly, commonly, globally called trance channeling, wherein the medium, in this case me, goes into a trance-like state where I am not losing touch with reality, but it's almost as though the mind has two compartments, and one is the Ellaeenah compartment, that even as I am speaking and channeling, that Ellaeenah compartment is able to hear what is being said through me, is able to understand what is being said through me. And the other part, which is, let us say, the JadeFire compartment, is overwhelmed by JadeFire's energies or the energies of any higher spiritual being, guide, master, angel, who comes through, who is desirous of being channeled through me. The second way of channeling that happens for me is when I sit in a state of meditation. I call these my chats with JadeFire, my dialogues with JadeFire. And most times these are personal. It's literally taking the time out in the day to talk to a favorite friend. But sometimes through these meditative channelings, JadeFire will give me a lot of information. These can come through images, these can come through kind of moving images, almost like a little film that could be played out. It could come through, and it does come through most times through a lot of information that is really downloaded into my brain. And when that meditative state is done, I then pick up a pen and pencil or the computer and I'll type out whatever has come through and whatever I remember. The third kind of channeling is when JadeFire will overwhelm my energies while keeping me not in a trance, but still an overwhelming of my energies, but where as the information comes through, I am either writing it down as it comes through, or I'm typing it out. So in the second way, the whole thing takes place and I then complete the meditative state. I say my gratitude prayer and then write down whatever has come through and whatever I recall. in this third way of channeling, which is actually today's way of channeling, right? Today's meeting. So through the day, for several hours in the day, actually, JadeFire has been coming in and out, sometimes for a few minutes and sometimes for about an hour. And through the day, he has been making me write. And of course, I'm not going to read out everything that came over the whole day, but with JadeFire's guidance, I have brought it to the salient points of this meeting. There were a few parts of that channeling which were personal only for me, or which were personal only for my family. And those I have naturally not included for you today. So I am going to be referring to these notes that I have made. And there are certain parts that I have highlighted and I've written there for myself. Read from here, because I think it is so important that I actually read JadeFire's words to you. So let's start with this 11:11 channeling come meditation. The meditation will follow the channeling. JadeFire's energies are with us. Gaia's energies are with us. Angelic energies are with us. The Maha Avatar is with us. I can sense Sai Baba and Meher Baba also with us, but their energies are not in the forefront as the other energies, but they're very much with us at present. Also present is the goddess Durga, goddess Diana, Ma Lakshmi, I acknowledge the presence of all these beautiful beings. I'm grateful that they are with us today. I welcome into our circle the energies of Lord Commander of the Ashtar Command, and let us begin. Today's channeling is not meant to cause you any kind of fear. In fact, the farthest reaction that we desire from you is fear. Because your reaction of fear will stop you from comprehending the depth of our words. The profoundness of the wisdom that we are joyous to share with you. In fact, this channeling is meant for you to know what you need to do to help yourself, to help the collective. These are times when your help is greatly required. We are honored by the high pedestals of love and adoration and reverence that you put us up on as divine beings of light. We are honored, we are in gratitude. But we wish to share with you that today and in the time to come, the part that you shall play shall be far more vital, far more meaningful, and far more significant than our roles. We truly desire you to stop referring to yourself as just a human being or as a mere mortal, because you are farthest from that. Today, we wish to awaken you to yourself. We wish to share with you, in a small way maybe, but to share with you how important you are, how important for the universe, how important for Earth, how important for humanity is the work that you do. You do not really understand the import and implication of our words, but by the end of this channeling, we hope you shall. We are with you. We are guiding this beautiful child to speak our words. We shall continue to impress upon her mind the words and truths that we would like her to use. But we shall turn over this channeling to her now. And so I speak to you the words that JadeFire shared with me through the day. And he started by saying that the elements of nature are very, very important at this point in time. And all the elements, air, water, fire, and earth, will all be playing very, very, very significant roles. And he started with air and water in the beginning and then went on to fire and earth. Air and water are being used by Gaia, Mother Earth, the higher energies of earth. Air and water are being used by Gaia to facilitate the shifts that are taking place in her matrix. Gaia is shifting. The earth is shifting. It would be more right to say that. The earth is shifting from the electromagnetic matrix to the crystalline matrix. Some of us have already started that process for ourselves as well, where with the guidance of JadeFire, we have been working and taking their guidance and following their steps to change our own personal electromagnetic matrix to a crystalline matrix. To read more about these, please visit my website. It's there on my YouTube channel, but do read about the crystalline matrix. It's important. As the earth shifts from the electromagnetic matrix to the crystalline matrix, along with the shift in the matrix, there are shifts in weather conditions. And this is where air and water play a very, very big role. Many of us have noticed in different parts of the world, wherever we may be, that what we might call not normal weather conditions are prevailing. There are rains and floods and stormy winds at the time of the year when earlier there were none. There is dry weather and heat in some areas where in earlier years, they have been facing the cold winters. So weather has been changing due to the change in the matrix. What is even more important than this is that behavior patterns of the human world have been changing due to these shifts. People who were earlier meek, timid, submissive are suddenly speaking up, even maybe getting aggressive. Rage has become something that seems to be uncontrollable for so many. Large numbers are going through acute anxiety, even as they know intellectually that there is nothing in their lives that accounts for this kind of anxiety. But these behavior changes are also due to the shift in the matrix from the electromagnetic to the crystalline. These shifts will continue for another 2 to 4, 5 years. The shift has to be very, very gradual. It has to be very slow. And it is very slow. But even as it is so slow, you and your earth are affected by it so strongly. It is thus not possible to speed up this process. In fact, if it were possible, the process would have been slowed down even further. So these shifts are destabilizing us. And they're also destabilizing animals, they're destabilizing birds, fish, reptiles, insects. If you Google search, you will find that there are articles, there are stories that are being shared by people who have noticed very peculiar behavior patterns in certain animals or even in their own pets. Yes, these shifts are destabilizing, but they are part of our evolutionary process. We can make them easier for ourselves, and this channeling will touch upon that as well. JadeFire has said very clearly that you and I are not responsible for these shifts. We are not responsible for these behavior patterns, but we are contributing towards them. The shift is a part of Gaia and Earth's evolutionary process, and therefore they are part of your and my evolutionary process as well. So we are not responsible for that, but we are contributing. Again, he goes on to explain to us how we are contributing. And one of the most important things is that we are still living in relative ignorance. Of course, our spiritual wisdom today at this point in time is way more than what it was maybe even 3 years ago. But we have not yet awakened to God. We have not awakened as a collective to the wisdom of what is God, or maybe who is God. And today's channeling is primarily for that purpose, to awaken us, and through you and through me, to awaken large numbers, so that as you speak of this to others and as I speak of this to others, there shall be some who may deride what we tell them, who may sneer at us, which is fine. But there will be a significant number who will listen, who will understand, and who will begin to make voluntary changes in their lives. And this is the key, the voluntary changes, that is the key. And that is how we are contributing. The changes that we make, the more voluntary they are, the more voluntary changes we make, the less shall Earth and Gaia be impelled to create shifts that push us out of our ignorance. And that is how we are contributing. By desiring to remain ignorant, by desiring to cover up our ears and not listen to the truths that are constantly being shared with us, we are pushing Gaia to push us even further. The more we take charge of who we are, of who we really are, the more we understand what is really happening in the world today, the less will Gaia need to push us as a collective. So that is why JadeFire says, though you are not responsible, you are contributing. So let's go back to knowing God. And JadeFire says, you all talk of God. Some of you call God he, some of you call God she. You go to temples and churches and mosques and places of worship to pray to God. You bow your heads before images and pictures and sculptures of stone and metal, because that is how you show your reverence to God. But simultaneously, in the world is hate and war and friction and dishonor of each other. And hate and war and friction and dishonor reveals that humanity does not know God at all. You know the image that you pray before, you know the place of worship that you visit, you know the words of the prayer that you recite, but you do not know God at all. We all say that we love our children, and we do. But as a human collective, we are gambling with their future. How few stop to think, what kind of a world am I bringing my child into? What kind of a world am I leaving behind for my children? And even fewer than that actually do something about this thought. So if we love our children as much as we profess that we do, why are we gambling with their future? Do we even know that we are gambling with their future? Do we even know how we are gambling with their future? And do we take responsibility for that? How are we gambling with the future of our children? JadeFire says, you do this by turning away from what is really happening in your world. From what is really happening. JadeFire says, you pay attention to the wars in different parts of the world. You pay attention to the political campaigns. You voice your opinions on these campaigns. You spend hours in the day analyzing stock markets, analyzing economic scenarios, talking of business houses. But you do not spend even a few minutes understanding what is really happening. What is really happening is soul-directed global shifts in karmic behavior patterns. What is really happening is soul-directed global shifts in karmic behavior patterns. You are seeing these patterns shifting, but you are giving it a different twist to it. You are seeing dirty politics being played. You are aware of warmongering. You are aware of bias and prejudice and hatred. But the twist you are giving it is you are blaming another. What is really happening is these global karmic behavior templates are coming alive. As they are coming alive, they are making people behave in ways that you and I might call ugly, that we might judge. And as soon as we see them as ugly, and as soon as we judge them, we lose sight of what is really happening in the world. And when we lose sight of what is really happening in the world, we are gambling the future of our children. Because along with the hatred and along with the warring, judgment and blame and condemnation are also karmic behavior patterns. And through someone else, the karmic template of hate might be coming alive. Through a second, the karmic template of deceit might be coming alive. Through a third, the karmic template of corruption could be coming alive. But through you, the karmic template of blame and bitterness and judgmentalism could be coming alive. As these karmic templates come alight, they certainly draw our attention because they come alight in such a strong manner. They take our entire focus. The focus of the world goes to some of these templates. But that is exactly when you and I need to remember this channeling. We must recognize the template that is coming alight. But we must also remember what is really happening. that karmic template is coming alight so that the behavior pattern can change. But the more entangled we are in reaction to the karmic template, the less permission do we give them to change. And the stronger does Gaia have to work at impelling us to shift. Another truth that we need to be aware of, and here again I'm going to read. You must come to terms with this truth and not turn away from it. The truth is that man, as in mankind, is not the dominant creature in the world. Nor has mankind been given the divine go-ahead to dominate over nature and all her other expressions. Human energy is not dominant to the energy of Gaia. In this world, the dominant energy is Gaia. We cannot anymore hide from this truth because our egos continue to tell us that we are the dominant creature in this world. I read again. What you are enjoying in your world is not an inviolable right. It is, in fact, a divine gift that you have been given to enjoy. Your uniqueness as a race is not a throne upon which you can sit and rule over others. It is a gift given to you so that you can understand the uniqueness of the expressions of all other creations of Gaia. So we have taken the gift given to us and allowed our ego to turn it into an ugly expression. And this dominance that we as a human race show over each other, show over animals, show over plants, show over Mother Earth herself, this dominance is making us loot and plunder, is making us disrespect and dishonor everything that has come to us as a gift. The expressions of Gaia and the human expression is only one expression of Gaia. She expresses herself as human, as animal, as plant, as tree, as weed, as reptile, as insect, as fish, as bird. The human expression of Gaia is as unique as all her other expressions. Every expression of Gaia is unique and special in its own way. But only one expression of Gaia desires to dominate. And that is the human expression. The human expression that has one aspect added to it, which other expressions of Gaia do not have, and that is the aspect of the ego. When human beings were locked by Gaia in their homes, and they were not permitted to enjoy the sunlight, the rain, the wind, because she had COVID standing very firmly at our doorsteps, ensuring that we could not open them. At that time, the animals and the birds came out in free expression of their deep gratitude to Gaia for allowing them this brief respite, so that they too could enjoy being free and unhindered and unrestricted in their movement, like humanity has enjoyed for so long. Before I continue, I want to read these words of JadeFire. We speak to you thus, not to spread doom and gloom, but it is in fact a push for each one of you to come together with each other and with each expression of Gaia, and become the new emerging holders and co-creators of a radiant rainbow energy. And for the first time, JadeFire talks of the rainbow energy as being the energy that is being emitted by the crystalline matrix. And he goes on to explain what the rainbow energy is. He says it is the perfect depiction that different energies of different frequencies can and do come together to create one radiant whole. The rainbow energy, where the frequency of red is different from the frequency of orange, is different from the frequency of yellow, is different from the frequency of violet and indigo, and yet they come together in their differences and create the most glorious whole. There is not one amongst us who sees a rainbow and is not tempted to immediately take out our smartphones and take a picture of that and send it to all our friends and to social media to say, here is a rainbow. Why does the rainbow fascinate us so much? JadeFire says the rainbow taps into our innate knowledge of God. The rainbow taps into what we already know of God, but which our egos and our intellects turn away from. Different frequencies overlapping, coming together, merging to become one radiant rainbow energy. Rainbow energy that is being released into the world by Gaia's crystalline matrix, and by the crystalline matrices that you and I are working on, our personal crystalline matrix. We are emitting the rainbow energy, but how ironic that on one hand, we have been emitting the rainbow energy without even knowing that that is what we are doing. And on the other hand, we have been living in dualistic separation. Which of these is the real I? Can it be that both these are I? So JadeFire then says, what is the reason for these earth shifts? What is the reason for these behavioral pattern shifts? What is the reason for the weather changes? And he says there is only one reason, and that is a movement, a very, very strong, determined, focused, purposeful movement towards our individual soul missions. I don't know how many embodiments you and I have taken, but I know that before we took our very first embodiment, our soul that had never been embodied before that, our soul made one determining choice. And that choice does not shift, does not change. You might take 1,000,000 embodiments, but that choice remains constant. And not only does it remain constant, every one of those 1,000,000 embodiments, it is that choice that acts like a light of a rope of light, pulling you ever forward towards that choice of the soul mission. Why do I, as a soul, wish to begin the journey of the human embodiment? Every soul has to answer that question first. And only then does it begin its journey of embodiments. And that answer, the why, is the soul mission. The why is what the soul wishes to complete, to assimilate, to acquire, to attain, before it once again merges into the one source that it has always been a part of. So these shifts that are happening today, happening for you and happening for me, happening for our communities and happening for our world, these shifts are taking us very strongly towards our soul mission. For the first time in the human journey, our soul mission lights are brighter than they have ever been. The soul mission for the first time is not some intellectual concept that we read about in our astrological chart, or for those of you who have ordered through me your soul blueprint reports. Our soul missions are not those 2 or 3 lines to read and feel good about and forget and keep away in the book cabinet. For the first time in human history, the light of the soul mission is as bright as the cosmic sun. And from now, till the time you and I attain that soul mission, whether it is in this lifetime or whether it is 10 lifetimes hence, that light shall not diminish. So what is the soul mission? JadeFire uses the term, it is the destiny of your soul. And he uses this word destiny because he says the human world understands destiny as something that cannot be resisted. You cannot fight it. And that is why he uses the words, the destiny of your soul. You may understand it, you may not understand it, you may agree, you may not agree, but it is the destiny of your soul. You have been walking this path of the destiny of your soul ever since your very first embodiment, whenever that was. And you shall continue to walk this path of the destiny of your soul till your very last embodiment, when the light bursts through. And in that burst of light, your soul shall merge again with the one source. But today the destiny is louder than ever before. And it is not only personal and individual destinies, it is global destinies, national destinies, destinies of families. It is the unchanging culmination towards which our soul moves with unwavering focus. I thought these words were so profound that I didn't wish to make any change in them. The unchanging culmination towards which our soul moves with unwavering focus. I have often been told, I seem to have lost my way. No one ever loses their way because the soul has unwavering focus upon its destiny. In your astrological charts, in your soul blueprint reports, this soul mission is often depicted as the North Node. And I am not going to go into any astrological explanation because honestly, I do not know astrology. My knowledge is perfunctory, very, very, very basic. So I would not even deign to think that I could explain that to you. But the soul mission is often referred to as the North Node. And in my soul-based astrology, esoteric astrology, the North Node is like the guiding star of the entire soul blueprint report. It explains every single planetary position from that destiny point of view. It gives you instructions and guidance so that you follow that destiny. JadeFire said something that was so amazing about these North Nodes that I want to read this entire paragraph out to you because it was something that I did not know at all. The North Nodes are a part of one undivided Akashic energy field. And thus they are connected to each other in a manner that we are not aware of. The north node of each individual person is thus simultaneously slightly different and also similar to everyone else's. Once again, here is the symbolic representation of the rainbow. Slightly different north nodes of different frequencies, different purposes, but similar because they are part of the one undivided Akashic energy field. But what I find even more incredible is that JadeFire said that your soul mission cannot fulfill itself to 100% of its radiant potential if mine doesn't do the same. If everyone else's does not do the same. I find this incredible. Our individual fulfillment, 100% of this radiant fulfillment depends not only upon me, but depends upon every single part of this human race. Never before had I seen unity with this much profound meaning. For me today, the word unity has taken on a depth and an aspect and a feature that I just was left gasping at. How much more can you and I be united? Your fulfillment is also my responsibility, just as my fulfillment is also yours. How then can you sneer at me, insult me, humiliate me, and how then can I resent you? How can I condemn you? How can I kill you? How can I hate you? You hold my fulfillment in your hands just as tightly and sacredly and preciously as I do. And I hold in my hand just as preciously your soul destiny, just as you do. How can we get more united than this? In this one truth, there is an aspect of God that is subtly coming through. Very, very subtly coming through. Our north nodes are like individual light bulbs in the Akashic energy field. The light of the Akashic energy field is not its own light. The light of the Akashic energy field is the light of your north node, my north node, the north node of everyone, the soul mission of everyone, the destiny of each soul on this earth. The light of the Akashic energy field is not its own light, but it is our light. The 1111 energy of today is the energy that awakens us to God, and through that awakening to the eventual realization of the destiny of our soul. The energy that is needed for our awakening shall come from deep within earth herself, from her molten fire. And then the awakening that comes as a result of all the earth changes and behavior changes shall eventually determine the intensity and manner of the changes themselves. The sacred fire of molten earth shall light up our sacred fire, the sacred fire that rests in you and I. And this I'm going to read very slowly because it is very important. And truly, this is the crux of today. The rising of the sacred fire shall happen in two ways. It shall rise up the Kundalini, and it shall arouse the sacred fire of the solar plexus chakra. The rising of the Kundalini has not been fully understood. This is the divine energy that each one is born with. But like so much of the human brain and the human DNA, this sacred fire, this Kundalini, is used only fractionally. Well over 90% of these divine energies lie untapped. The rising of the sacred molten energy of the earth shall begin the process of the Kundalini energies rising up as well. The earth chakra is where the initial movement and the original stirring takes place. And then the Kundalini energy rises from the root chakra, moving ever upwards. But as it moves, it does one very important task. It creates the collision of energies that was explained and spoken of in the channeling of October 2022. If you haven't heard that, I urge you to hear that, please. As it moves up, it creates the collision of old energies, the old energies that are predominantly of the egoic nature of the person. And these collide with the sacred energies that are rising up. At each chakra and all along the way, these collisions take place. Some are minor and some are pretty big. But each collision shatters the old energies and refuels you with the new divine energies rising upwards, thus helping you to use on a daily, earthly, practical basis more and more of the energies that are at present lying untapped. As we use more of this rising Kundalini, we cleanse the dualistic energy that we hold within us and which is responsible for unhappiness, for scarcity, for conflict, and for dis-ease in the world. As we cleanse, we take one more step into the unified energy field. We go one step closer to the 100% radiant fulfillment of the destiny of our souls, our indivisible destinies that lie within the Akashic, unified energy field. With this movement of the Kundalini, the sacred fire of the solar plexus chakra is aroused. This is when personal karmic templates get fired up. And we are then pushed to facing our inner darkness. We are pushed to face what we have done in previous lifetimes. We are pushed to face the dishonorable perversion and repression of the feminine energy. We are pushed to face this. We are pushed to face this, even while we stay strong within the energy of honor. Honor for ourselves and honor for others around us who are going through exactly this process. This process is vital for you to know God. God, who is neither masculine nor feminine. God is neither he nor she. The present shifts are not directed towards the feminine surpassing the masculine, not at all. In fact, if either energy is in imbalance, if either energy is even one step ahead of the other, if either energy is seeking dominance, it shall set loose a series of events that shall impel the awakening in a manner that we might find challenging. God is not up there. God is not a being. God is not an entity. Hear how JadeFire describes God. God is the perfect balance of the feminine and masculine energies. The perfect unity that is so complete that the energies cannot be differentiated anymore. To know God is to wise up to the fact that there is no God who is present to anyone who is not in balance. To know God is to wise up to the fact that no God is present for the one who is in imbalance. We have to learn to look with balance, to listen with balance, to question with balance, to receive with balance. Every word, every action, every thought if one word, one thought, one action is in imbalance, there is no God. In you, there is no God. Around you, there is no God in that situation. To know God is to know the state of your balance. In a dualistic world like ours is, this is the only definition of God that shall work as the shifts take place. You and I, JadeFire lovingly refers to us as God in the making. We are not complete yet. The imbalances are prevalent. But can we at least honor each day, each moment, honor the fact, I am God in the making. So are you. So is he. So is she. The shifts that are firing up my karmic templates are firing up your karmic templates, their karmic templates. And just as I feel rocked and uncertain and threatened at times, so do you, so does he, so does she. In that awareness, you shall know God a little better, even though you hold within fear and anxiety, or anger and disillusionment. Even though you hold these within you, your 100% awareness, recognition, and acknowledgement that I am God in the making, and so are you, and so is he, and so is she. In that awareness, in that acknowledgement, you shall know God a little better. We shall now move into the meditation. May I ask you to please close your eyes if you are comfortable with that, to remain seated for this meditation. We are going to connect to the sacred, molten energy of Gaia. We shall take this energy into our earth chakra. We shall consciously and willingly give permission for our Kundalini to rise, for our sacred fire of the solar plexus chakra to be aroused, we shall consciously and willingly give permission for the collision of old karmically held energies within us to collide with the divine energies of the Kundalini and thus be shattered so that we are refueled by divine energies. And with each infusion of the divine energies, we shall know more certainly, more purposefully that we are moving on the path of the destiny of our soul, that is the only path we now desire to move upon. And that each day, the God in the making that we are becomes stronger and surer. And with each day, we know God more certainly. Before we connect to the molten energy of Gaia, bow down to yourself in recognition that you are God in the making, that there is no light in the Akashic unified energy field, but the light that is shone by you and each and every person on earth who is God in the making as well. If it makes it easier for you to connect to the molten energy, you can visualize the seething, molten lava that stirs up in the belly of Mother Earth. I choose, with my divine right to choose thus, to connect to the divine energy of the sacred fire of Gaia, and to draw this energy up into my earth chakra. As this process takes place, in fact, throughout the whole meditation, maintain a very steady, gentle, easy rhythm of breathing. I recognize the earth chakra being filled with the sacred fire energy of Gaia. I am grateful for this. I now draw this up into my root chakra, giving full permission for the Kundalini to rise at an even, easy pace that I can handle, that shall not destabilize me. You can visualize the Kundalini rising by imagining a rising energy, or by imagining a serpent gently rising upwards. Or you may remain confident in your awareness that the process is taking place even though you do not imagine anything. I now give permission for collision of energies to take place in the root chakra. As old energies of insecurity, lack of validation, identity crisis, any kind of personal struggle, as these energies collide with the rising sacred fire, I begin to know God that wears the face of peace. A peace that remains still, even as there is turbulence in my life. The Kundalini rises into my sacral chakra, I give permission for the collision of old energies with the divine energies of the sacred fire, the energies of divinity that are my own. Old energies of anxiety, worry, sadness, sexual inability, sexual confusion, barrenness, inability to tap into intuition, blocks in creativity, and more of such energies. I give permission that they are shattered. And the sacral chakra is refueled by the energy of God that wears the face of calmness. Calm is different from peace. Peace is stillness. Calm can exist even when there is acute activity. It is the absence of agitation. It is the presence of orderly conduct, orderly behavior, orderly activity. The Kundalini energy rises up and arouses the sacred fire of the solar plexus chakra. I permit collision of old energies, of power struggles, powerlessness, aggression and rage, hatred and war, conflict and friction, dominance and repression. I ask that these energies collide with the energies of the divine sacred fire and shatter as the solar plexus chakra is refueled with the light of the God that knows no darkness, the light of strength, of wisdom, of awareness, of inner power. The light of togetherness. The light of leadership that takes all and leads with love. The Kundalini rises into the heart chakra. I give permission for old energies to collide and shatter, to collide with the energies of the sacred Kundalini. The sound of sobs and cries, the deafening sound of repressed words, of harshness and abuse. I command that these be shattered as the heart chakra is refueled by the God who wears the face of divine sound, celestial harmony, harmonic convergence, different tunes coming together in a symphony of celestial music. The Kundalini energy rises up to the throat chakra, where you give permission for all old energies to collide with the sacred fire, to shatter the energies of angry words spoken and received, to shatter the energies of ignorant judgments made, the throat chakra being refueled by the energies of the God that wears the face of divine power, the divine power of the spoken word, the divine power to heal with the spoken word, to unite with the spoken word, to empower with the spoken word, to illuminate with the spoken word. And the Kundalini now rises into the third eye and the crown chakras. Where you give permission to shatter the old energies by allowing collision with the energies of the divine fire that is rising, that is enthroning itself in the third eye and the crown chakras. Shattering ignorance, shattering untruths, shattering conditioning, giving permission for karmic templates to be fired and thus bring in refueling of new divine energies, of the God who wears the face of love and joy and wisdom. Joy that is the fulfillment of all human striving. Wisdom that knows that all are God in the making, that knows that all are God, that knows God. And loves God, not only in a place of worship, but in the face of every single living being. Very, very gently, the Kundalini returns to the root chakra. But now that you have given this permission, it shall regularly rise up, shatter, refuel, and return. In this process, each time the Kundalini rises, shatters, and refuels, there shall be greater balance between the masculine and feminine energies within you, so that one beautiful day you shall wake up and you shall affirm for all to hear, I know God. For I am. You can gently open your eyes. Rub your palms together. Place them over your eyes and your face and your arms, so that the strong energy envelops you. May these strong energies of light and wisdom of 1111 remain with you. Each day growing stronger. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this beautiful channeling and meditation. And as I look at my computer time, I am amazed because it is 11:11. I am just amazed. What a testament from the universe. Thank you. Thank you all.